and welcome back to the Star Wars Minute. It's your daily podcast in which we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
The name's Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Kelly Anneken of Kelly Anneken's Hilarious Patreon.
Kelly Anneken's Hilarious Patreon. In between, in the green room, but between yesterday and today, welcome back, Kelly.
Thank you so much.
We were talking about the domain names that we've had the pleasure of purchasing, based on
one man's pleasure is another's inexplicable compulsion.
And I did want to rattle off some of the ones that we still have going. It turns out some of them have expired, some of them are no longer active jokes.
Okay.
But you did just say you were from Kelly Anneken's Hilarious Patreon, right?
Yes.
We do own Kelly Anneken's Hilarious Patreon not.com.
Huh.
So I think we registered that in the 90s after we saw Wayne's World. We also have the prophetic domain name Kelly Anneken's taking it easy in 2020 not.com.
Oh God,
Prophetic.
I have PTSD from these domain names now.
Both of them. We have taking with a G and taken with no G, because I guess it came up somehow. So Kelly Anneken's taking it easy and Kelly Anneken's taking it easy in 2020 not.com. Both of those.
Did I cause the pandemic? Because I was taking it easy.
Yeah. We somehow triangulated everybody. When you put those two next to each other, it created some kind of resonance, and now nobody got to take it easy.
Kelly Anneken's Wuhan.com.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And the last one that seems to still be active is phasmaforkelly.net.
Oh, that's nice.
So that is a nice one.
I don't know what that meant, but that's nice. I was thinking as I was watching Rise of Skywalker, I was like, man, I miss Captain Phasma.
That is one of my complaints about the movie, is that there's no Captain Phasma. They should have kept bringing her back.
Captain Phasma's amazing.
Like Jason Voorhees.
I never did my cosplay of Captain Phasma. Maybe I will in a year in which I'm not taking it easy.
Right.
That's a high, in my opinion, that's a very high degree of difficulty cosplay. Anything with armor, I'm just like, oh, that's too hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you go the route, go the so obviously homemade that it's charming route. You know what I mean? Do it.
I feel like that's every time I try to do any cosplay or costume, it winds up being that, and I just get sad. I'm like, oh, this doesn't look like I thought it did. It's like cosplay dysmorphia.
Well, we got the first order medical, psychiatric response team is here to help you with your feelings about that if you want.
Just like my chunkle.
Hey, you know who else is here? It's minute 62 of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. 62 starts with Finn, Poe, and Chewie being hustled into an audience with Allegiant General Pride. And it ends with Kylo Ren finally figuring out that Rey is in his room. So he was like, oh, that's where she is.
I feel so strongly that the First Order has really big, a bunch of guys coming up with their own nicknames energy, like Supreme Leader, Allegiant General. I'm like, you're just making this up. And it makes sense, right? Because like the Sith, that's the whole thing for the Sith. They're like, okay, number 1, we're evil. Number 2 is we all have to pick a different name that's scary.
Cool nicknames.
I'm going to be Admiral. That's like Death. Like, no, that guy's already Admiral over there. You got to pick something else. Like, what?
Supreme Admiral.
There you go.
So
Supreme
like
Admiral
Sith
Death.
cosplayers. Yeah.
I once, in a meeting with my boss at the time, and we were kind of redoing, my position had changed in a good way, and I was trying to figure out what my new title would be. And I was like, can I be magistrate? Because that's kind of cool. And like that nobody went for that. But I was like, magistrate sounds,
I'd
But,
want to go for governor, like Cockney governor. Like,
right,
governor. Governor Anakin.
Mm.
Alternate Star Wars timeline, too. Governor Anakin.
There you go. Regional governor.
Just state and local politics. Nobody wants you for the dark side in regional politics.
All politics is regional. Right?
It's funny to imagine the Sith infiltrating like local school boards and like local zoning, commissions and stuff like that.
Water boards, comptroller. I mean, honestly, probably would work better than their current approach of just going in and just being like, we're going to kill everybody.
Top down, yeah.
Hmm.
I want to ask Kelly. Kelly, what do you think about Richard Grant? Do you have any opinions on Richard Grant?
I'm so glad that you asked. I can't even tell you. Okay, Richard E. Grant, also known as Mr. Bricker from Downton Abbey, one half of the very popular ship amongst the Up Yours Downstairs set, McBricker, which was Elizabeth McGovern playing Cora, the mom, but we called her McG. And Bricker had kind of an emotional affair, and they were McBricker, and we were like, you should leave Hugh Bonneville. Oh my God, this guy knows about art. Yeah, he's kind of like a thinking man's James Woods in his appearance.
I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, he looks significantly less wrecked than James Woods. Like, James Woods has just always looked wrecked.
Because he thought about it first. He's like,
yeah, I enjoy him here as just sort of like generic, replaceable British man of a certain age baddie in a Star Wars. I think he just absolutely crushes it.
He's kind of the Terrence Stamp of Terrence Stamp was in The Phantom Menace, and you're like, why did they cast such a big name actor in this tiny little part? And there you go. I
also feel like he's just bringing a little bit more pathos than your Grand Moff Tarkin. I feel like, there's something more to this guy than just being like, I'm going to take all your credit for building the Death Star, that other guy.
He seems more actively angry than, Tarkin had a kind of a cool confidence with a little bit of boiling rage inside him. But
some malice. This guy definitely, he's just, anger forward, which the Sith really like.
Yeah.
I can see him going far.
I guess he started off as like cadet pride and then gradually worked his way up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think he was is there like a what's the progress like? Is there are stormtroopers, do they eventually become officers, or are the officers like a separate training thing? Like, is there like a,
Well, the stormtroopers are like the grunts. I feel like it's probably possible, but very, very difficult if you're coming into the First Order without a commission.
Right. All right.
Yeah, and I imagine if I'm the First Order and I'm training an army of child soldiers, I don't want them having, like, I don't want to make them too smart. You know what I mean? You want to make them just basically be cannon fodder that you can kind of send into situations who are just going to kind of, you don't want them planning and scheming.
You can't rely on them not, they might be running their own operation, So you got to make sure it's like, you have to take the evil entrance exam. Once you pass that, Captain Phasma aced the evil exam. She crushed it. They were like, this lady is so evil. Also, speaking of ladies, I watch everything with the captions on, either because I enjoy reading or because I have an auditory processing disorder. We don't know.
A little bit of both, maybe.
And there is a closed caption in this movie. I forget exactly which minute it is, but it's female stormtrooper yells or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, representation matters. Thank you so much for specifying the gender of this stormtrooper. So silly.
It doesn't say male stormtrooper.
Right? I mean, why they gotta say it? Like, why they gotta say it like that? Mm-hmm. What are your pronouns, stormtrooper? Let me know.
My note about pertaining to Richard E. Grant and the they bring out Finn, Poe, and Chewie up, and they're like, hey, Allegiant General Pride, like here they are, the scavenger's not with them. And my note is that really this meeting could have been an email. Like we didn't have to have a whole thing where we bring them all out in front of me and I have to say like, okay, yes, then kill them and do a whole, like it really could have just been like, hey, we found them, but we didn't find the scavenger. Okay, kill them. Thanks.
I mean, he does give off big. Go ahead, Alex.
No, you're the guest. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. He does give big. He does give off big, like, you want something done, you've got to do it yourself. Mm-hmm. Like I'm seeing, in the novelization, maybe it's like, oh, remember that time when they killed those people and he didn't say it was okay, and that's what held him back from being like Allegiant Commander or whatever. I don't know. He seems like somebody who's like, I'm going to dot all the I's and cross all the T's so that I, too, one day can be Supreme Leader.
So he wants to see it in person and have it be, he wants to do that face-to-face with this. He doesn't want to.
Yeah. Well, I think he really takes a very personal touch approach to mass murder. I think he's really, trying to putting the I in genocide,
One thing I don't like about this, and it didn't even occur to me until just now, but wouldn't this be a great example to highlight the fact that Finn is a runaway stormtrooper and they've caught him? And wouldn't they want to make an example of him by like having a public execution in front of everybody or something like that?
Nope. No one remembers anything about The Force Awakens. This is not the sequel that you're looking for. Nothing ever happened, and J.J. Abrams made a movie for no one.
Yeah, it's granted it was a year and a half ago, so everyone, I'm sure, forgot about it in the space of time. But
probably they also want to not acknowledge that, right? They want to be like, no, nobody ever ran away and changed their mind.
But
so
it comes up.
How would anybody?
Later in the movie, when they meet the people riding the giant warthogs.
Right. Well, they want to.
Yeah, they want to. I'm just saying, like, it's not that they don't completely ignore it, but it definitely doesn't come up. And I mean, I guess from their perspective, Phasma was probably the only person who actually knew who he was.
She did. It's not, she did seem to care the most.
I don't think that, further up the hierarchy, they're like, oh, just a bunch of numbers to me.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if as we learn later, if this is happening on a slightly larger scale than we thought, he's not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Then it is probably like, it's better to keep that quiet, not make a big deal out of it. Let's not acknowledge it.
Yeah, I mean, particularly, there's stormtroopers right there.
Right.
So if they find out, they'll be like, oh my God.
Not in front of the stormtroopers.
You gotta kill Richard E. Grant.
Now, I mentioned we were talking yesterday about what is the security footage of Kylo Ren and Rey's little Force Dyad tete-a-tete look like. And here we have them, as it continues, we actually have like a guy running through in the background at one point. It's almost like the people who walk by Han and Leia in the corridor on Echo Base. Like, we have a similar thing where like they're having their thing and we see a guy in Kijimi just kind of run by Kylo Ren in the background, and I'm like, what is he seeing?
It's just dyad bombing.
He's just kind of like, is he like, oh my God, this guy's crazy, I gotta get out of here? Or is he
I think that was the kid.
Like, oh man, I left my lunch in the fridge, I gotta go get it before somebody eats my yogurt.
Right, yeah.
Don't
You're
mind
destroying
me.
the planet.
I'm busy.
I gotta go get my ice cream maker.
You can't skip lunch.
Yeah, that guy was funny. The Rey would probably seem like the early internet sacrifice the Star Wars kid, just be standing by herself swinging a lightsaber around and jumping around and stuff like that. That must have been a internet sensation when it got shared around the First Order security footage. Everyone must have had quite a
forward
yeah.
Right.
How was that kid never in a Star War? That's not right. He should have been in a Star War.
Yeah.
I can't believe they didn't consult you.
He was too
a lot of things.
kind of burnt out on that.
Maybe.
He had such a
It
negative
would've been a good
reaction.
redemption arc, though, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I'm gonna look him
This
up right
movie
now.
already has too many redemption arcs, okay? Bite your tongue.
It's true. He should have been Snap Wexley. That's instead of Greg Grunberg. So we get more of the flashback. We get to see Ochi killing Rey's parents. Presumably the Rey's parents.
Yeah, as far as we have been told, but the information has not been confirmed by an objective. If it was a tweet, it would be like
Star Wars Kid.
It would be like readers have surfaced additional context about this tweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
The warning.
Emperor Palpatine is super evil, and why would we believe that guy?
I mean, I don't doubt maybe that this happened. That they were looking for, there's a chance that there was some reason why. Maybe they could, sense like, oh, this kid is powerful. And
who's they
wanted
in
to
that situation?
They,
them.
The editorial they.
Yeah,
Alex,
exactly.
if we told you, we'd have to kill you.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Like Rey's parents, question mark.
Like maybe this is the Emperor has been, hey, powerful Force baby, let's get her and get her on our side now. And then here's the kill, we couldn't find her, found her parents, kill her parents, whatever. All right, now let's just tell her that we're her, her parents were, related to us. Again, us. It's as if there's more than one here. I'm not doubting what I see here with my own two eyes. I do have questions about that. I forgot, again, this is like finding $1 in my pocket, forgot that this was in the movie, the whole flashback with like Ochi actually in action, kind of stabbing somebody.
Memento.
And the Sith dagger. Let's not forget the Sith dagger.
Let's not forget it.
But I had no recollection. I don't think I saw it the times that I actually saw the movie in the theater or up until now, I had not noticed the weird characters behind Ochi. And to me, they look like there's a poorly remembered cartoon that I used to watch every day called Dinosaurs, and they look kind of like that. They're like weird kind of dinosaur creatures with like space helmets or whatever. These two weirdos standing behind Ochi.
Hang on. Let's not just let this pass.
Okay.
What is the saucer? How does the saucer come into it in this cartoon?
They were, I think, dinosaurs were actually aliens,
Okay.
or dinosaurs maybe left the planet. They were rescued by aliens or something, but basically they were like talking alien dinosaurs who came back to have adventures with some kind of Earth boy, I think.
Okay. Like, was this
flying
like
saucers?
present day or like dinosaur
yes,
times?
I believe so. Now I have to one season, unsurprisingly.
Okay, but you watched it every day. I can't believe they canceled it.
I did. They never got my letters. A total of 65 episodes are made. Oh, it's first run of syndication. That's why.
Powerless to stop it.
Let's see.
Originally,
it was supposed to be based on a toy line, but then the toy line never came through, and then they scrapped the toys when nobody watched the cartoon. So, 2018 there was a comic book. But let's see, description.
Like, don't buy it, Pete. I'll get it for you for your birthday. And as a thank you for registering all these domain names.
Dinosaurs.org.
They were just kind of alien. Yeah, we some teenagers met up with some. The show is considered a harebrained idea.
By who?
By the producer.
But the
the
producer thinks of it as a harebrained idea.
Yeah, basically it's
He's like, I can't stop it. We're in too deep.
Anthropomorphic dinosaurs from outer space. And each of the I forgot this part. They have a button on the front of their uniforms which instantly devolves them into their primitive ancestors' dinosaur state while retaining their intelligence and speech capacity.
So it's like Animorphs, but like not.
I don't know.
Why do
anyway,
they have that
watched it
button?
every day. Don't remember anything about it.
Well, I know what I'm doing later
Characters
today.
They look like Ochi's minions, is what you're saying.
The Ochi's minions in the background kind of look like dinosaurs. Somebody's going to back me up on this. I don't know who it's going to be.
Like, listen, you guys have fun recording the rest of this episode. I have to go lay down.
Yeah.
Watch some.
I'm going to go watch 65 episodes of Dinosaurs, you guys.
I just
finish up without
had
me.
my mind blown.
But yeah, there are two weirdos behind Ochi. Did you have any information on these weirdos? I couldn't find much.
No, the visual dictionary completely mum on Ochi's gang, and so
Probably trying to
we'll
avoid
have
a
to wait till
lawsuit
he
from the creators of Dinosaurs.
Could be.
I think originally it was supposed to be a big crossover event, but then once they lost the rights, once J.J. Abrams
What
realized
a
it was a
harebrained
idea.
scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ochi
yeah,
looks like a Guillermo del Toro character. Ochi. With his pale,
Kind of.
wrinkled skin and his robot eyes. Anyway.
Yeah. And somebody else, I wonder if there is a connection. Probably not, but there's probably lots of information filling in the gaps that these are not related. But he does seem somewhat similar to Maz Kanata. So I wonder if they're related species somehow. I don't know.
Looking forward
Could have looked
to
that up too. I didn't. I got
the
distracted by
announcement of that
dinosaurs.
spin-off.
Ooh, Ochi
I don't
and
think so,
Maz
just because
on the
Ochi is
road.
Ochi is like human sized. I guess Maz could be a small version of that same race.
Yeah, sometimes creatures are different heights, Alex.
Yeah.
Is he human sized? I thought he was kind of a. I don't know.
You can't really tell here, but the comics, Ochi's in it a lot, and he's basically human size proportions.
Got
So sorry. If you count the comics as canon, which not everyone does, so.
Well, everybody tune in for Oh No, Ochi Didn't.
Well, speaking of things that didn't, this is where we see the destruction of Kylo Ren's little collectible stand there when they hit the... Then Darth Vader's helmet goes flying around, and he takes it very well. I would have thought he'd be much more freaked out about this than...
Yeah.
Here's my question.
That was in mint condition.
Why is it still smoking? Like, every time they open that, like, little drawer that it's in, it's, like, emanating... Like, did he rig up, like, a fog machine?
Dry ice.
Because I'm like...
I think so.
It definitely, like, the fire had gone out by the time you got this, bucko. Quit trying to seem cool. You're not cool. You're a dork.
Yeah, I think it could go, hand in hand with, I think last week we were saying whenever we see it, we get a little faint hint of the Imperial March, and I think it's the same thing. I think whenever it's rigged up, so when anybody sees it, it sprays has a little fog, and it plays a little like...
I'm just like imagining his, like...
Yes.
His housekeeper coming in and touches every time they open
Right.
it.
All right.
God, I hate this. Put on my earbuds. Listen to Dua Lipa.
That's a show I would watch also is Imperial / First Order housekeepers. You know?
Yeah,
The
Kind of
absolutely.
like a Downton Abbey thing where you have the upstairs,
there you go.
downstairs. You have the...
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We've already got Richard
Kelly's
E.
got a
Grant.
Yeah. Kelly's got a new pitch.
Hold my calls. First up, the guy who produced Dinosaurs.
Surely.
I got a harebrained idea for you. I heard you love those.
Also, let's make the toys after the show comes out.
Well, I think, wasn't that there was some kind of a web of technicalities there, thanks to the Smurfs. The Smurfs, when they wanted to make a Smurfs cartoon, thanks to the Smurfs, we have dinosaurs. When the Smurfs, they wanted to make a Smurfs cartoon, but there were laws against, you couldn't have a animated show that was an ad for a toy, basically. You couldn't have, but
Really? Because I remember the 80s very differently.
Well, this is all because of the Smurfs. They changed it because they were like, oh, technically, they pointed out, well, the Smurfs are technically a comic strip or whatever first, so we can adapt that, right? And they were like, oh, yeah, technically. So they're like, all right, great. And this is why you get a lot of, comic book adaptations and tie-ins. Like, technically, they published the comic book the first issue of G.I. Joe, the comic book, I think, came out before the first episode of the cartoon. Therefore, the cartoon was an adaptation of the comic book, not an ad for the toys.
Not the toys.
So it's that loophole.
Clever. Yeah.
And so I think that could be something that's why they wanted to have Dinosaurs come out as a cartoon first, then come out with the toys. So it's not, we're not making an ad for the toys. We're making a cartoon, and it's so successful that we're also
But I thought
making
you said
toys.
they had made the toys first.
They had started to. The idea was they were going to make the toys. The cartoon came out, and they were like, you know what? Nobody is watching this. Ain't nobody watching
Everyone
on this.
hates this idea.
Yeah, so let's kill the toy line.
There's one kid on Long Island who loves it. Everyone else seems to hate it. We're gonna hear from the Dinosaurs fan community after this one. Yeah,
Pete's on a list somewhere.
I'm gonna have a new group of friends after this episode.
There are dozens of us.
Yeah.
So Vader's helmet goes clanking onto the ground, and it lands in Kylo Ren's version of the world. Does that mean the helmet is now down on Kijimi? Does he have to like bring it back up with him on the ship and everything?
Yeah. I'm
That
assuming.
must be weird. Do you think he's uncomfortable the fact he's carrying around this helmet? Everyone's like, "Why are you carrying around that helmet?" It's my grandfather.
I think that's the least. That's like the least weird thing he does this entire series.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's clearly like he didn't just go get a new helmet. He put it. I always forget what the thing is. The Japanese art of
Yes.
broken pottery.
Yeah.
I forget what it is,
The
and I
name
have
of
to
it,
look
I
back through
always-
my notes from
yeah.
that week.
Yeah.
Because
So you
think it
don't
was
like the
even the
fact that
name
he
of
fixed
that.
his helmet?
I don't have a problem with it. Kintsugi. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, yes,
Sorry,
there
I had to scratch that itch. I don't have a problem with it. I do think it's freaking weird when your whole thing is like, I'm the supreme leader. I'm untouchable. Well, somebody touched your helmet, bro.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess
No,
technically
everybody
he
feels-
did it.
Yeah, like everybody feels like, you're touchable. That doesn't sound right.
Hmm.
But it's just like if
Somebody
you're,
raised their hand
the
in a meeting.
whole thing about the Sith, and by extension, all of the puppet governments that it props up, is that you have unlimited authoritarian power. So this again, maybe the First Order Mental Health Services would have a different take on this. Showing up deliberately showcasing a vulnerability, whether that was by your hand or somebody else's, is going to be interpreted as an opening for somebody else to seize power, which it is later by Richard E. Grant. So, what I'm saying is I would make an amazing Supreme Leader because I understand the rules.
I would vote for you.
Maybe they focus.
I don't think it's a
and he was
voting
saying-
situation, Pete, but thank you. Thank you so much. You would not object publicly for fear of execution.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Cuts down on the meetings if everyone has to agree.
Also, quick question. Does Kylo Ren not understand that you don't need the Emperor to have an empire? I think he says this early on when they're having like their little like board meeting, and he's like, "Oh, now because we have Palpatine, we can have a true empire." And I'm like, I don't think you know what that word means, my dude. Like, you already have an empire. You don't need this
capital
like
E empire, not
I guess
lowercase
so.
e empire.
Yeah, we can have an official licensed empire versus this bootleg empire that we've been.
God, the
Yeah.
worst thing we ever let Palpatine do was trademark the word emperor.
The word empire. Everybody, it's like the big game instead of the Super Bowl. It's the same thing. Like no matter what they can do, they're
Yep,
like,
yep.
we can't have an empire because we're not licensed and we'd have to pay. But now we got him on our team. We can be.
Yeah, we're just stuck over here with this off-brand supreme leadership.
And why is it
Definitely.
empire with an E but imperial has an I? It's a big plot hole they never address in this.
I think it's the metric system. I think that's why.
Curse you, France. That's all I have for 62.
Yeah, I got some of my stuff runs into tomorrow because this scene continues until tomorrow. Kelly, did you have anything else for this, or can you come back tomorrow? Or
Yeah,
both?
I think I can make it.
All right.
I'm pretty sure.
Well,
I mean, if not, you'll find out.
we'll find out the hard way.
All right.
Um,
Tony Randall on speed dial.
somehow, Tony Randall returned. If you would vote for Kelly for Supreme Leader, why not call our hotline 8-Day Greedo. 8-Day Greedo will if you leave a short and funny message, there's a possibility it'll make it to air or pod, whatever the equivalent is. Make it into the cloud, who knows? But call it, leave us a message, and we'll meet you back here tomorrow for a brand new Star Wars
Minute.